Alrighty guys, we're back for some Temur Land, and this is a Wilds of Eldraine Standard brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks, Anthony decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do get that Discord link as well as that Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? First of all, we have 29 total land. Is it going to be enough? I hope so. We have a whole bunch of ramp packed in here, like Azusa's Many Journeys. You may play an additional land this turn, happens to be a pretty good ability, and then also you gain some life from this, and then eventually it flips into Likeness of the Seeker, which ends up probably just being a chump blocker at some point in the game, but you know, it's still a very powerful uncommon, huh? More ramp here with Topiary Stomper. Seeing a lot of play recently for good reason. It's a solid creature, dude, and we're going to get those 7 lands on the board easy peasy, right? Because it can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands. But yeah, in this deck, I think we'll get there pretty fast, actually. More ramp with Blossoming Tortoise here, 4 mana, 3/3 turtle. When it ETBs or attacks, you mill 3 cards, then return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Nice. Activated abilities of lands you control cost 1 less to cast. Beautiful. Land creatures you control get +1/+1. Oh my goodness, nice. Yeah, I think all 4 of these in a deck like this is going to be necessary. It's probably the centerpiece of the entire build, right? We do have other cards in here that really work well with our land creatures, though, like Tatyova, Steward of the Tides. This is a 3 mana, 3/3 legendary creature. Land creatures you control have flying. Nice. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental, a creature with haste, and it's still a land. Nice, dude. Yeah, Tatyova is sweet. Again, we're probably going to get to 7 land relatively easy in this one. More cards that work with land is Jolrael, voice of Zhalfir. I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize, guys. It's a 4 mana, 3/3 legendary creature. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, up to 1 target land you control becomes an XX green and blue bird creature with flying and has haste until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. It's still a land. Whenever a land creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Yes, that is why it's in here, dude. Like, sure, yeah, it can power up lands on its own, but if we're powering up stuff already and making it cheap to power up stuff with that Blossoming Tortoise, then yeah, extra card draw sounds decent, dude. The biggest reason that there's only 1 of these in here is because of how difficult it actually is to keep creatures on the board, because there's just too much removal, you know? Kind of all over the place here. Let's go over Wrenn and Realmbreaker next. This is a 3 mana, 4 loyalty legendary planeswalker. I think it's underplayed personally. Lands you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color. Nice. That's going to be pretty huge in this deck, actually. Just got a +1 here. Up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with vigilance, hexproof, and haste until end of turn. It's still a land. Nice. It's got this -2 mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from among the milled cards into your hand. And then it's got this -7 where you get an emblem. You may play lands and cast permanent spells from your graveyard. Beautiful card, guys. It really is. Awaken the Woods, X and double green sorcery. Create X 1/1 green forest dryad land creature tokens. So a great way to get lands onto the board, right? A great way to ramp too. A couple turns of Awaken the Woods in a row can actually just completely get out of hand. So also have another X spell in here, the Goose Mother, X and Simic colors. It is a 2/2 flying legendary creature. The Goose Mother enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Okay. And then when it ETBs, you create half X food tokens rounded up. Okay. And then whenever the Goose Mother attacks, you may sacrifice a food. If you do, draw a card. It's going to be interesting to see how often this actually comes into play, but we did want a little bit more card draw in here too. And this is not the only way to generate food in here, as we do have Restless Cottage over here in the mana base as a 2 of. We are very much splashing black just for the Restless Cottage. We're kind of splashing red for a couple cards in here too, like the Restless Spire. But we're doing more than just splashing for a land for red, because we also have the Borborygmos and Fblthp. Oh, the card names, guys. This is a 5 mana, 6/5 legendary creature. It's rocking the Simic. No, not the Simic colors. It's rocking the Temur colors up there. When it ETBs or attacks, you draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you do, discard one or more cards this way, then it deals twice that much damage to target creature. Nice. This is kind of sort of our only piece of removal in here. In classic red cat fashion, I'm not playing with much removal, which could be very scary. So we'll see how much this card actually does. Has a bottom ability too for 1 and a blue. You can put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. So kind of sort of protecting itself, but also not really. So I don't know how often that comes into play, but we'll see. I guess it might be better than just having it die. Maybe, I guess. Anyways, we also have a Vorinclex here. Being able to grab forests is going to be huge because, yeah, we're heavily leaning towards green. Look at this, dude. Wow, 94% of the cards are green. And being able to grab forests is kind of important too, because we do have a couple proving grounds in here for that splash of red and the splash of black for like Restless Cottage too. We also have Spara's headquarters just to be able to grab Simic colors off of the Vorinclex, but also cycling in a deck like this might come into play too, when we might just end up flooding tremendously. Even though we want a lot of lands, like flooding still technically could happen, so these cycling effects could really come into play. Also, our main land to power up in this deck is actually going to be Restless Vinestalk here. Unfortunately, all these Restless cards enter tapped, so it might be pretty slow. So taps for Simic colors, then for 3 and Simic colors. Until end of turn, Restless Vinestalk becomes a 5/5 green and blue plant creature with trample. It's still a land. And whenever Restless Vinestalk attacks, up to one other target creature has base power and toughness 3/3 until end of turn. Yeah, I think it's going to be relatively solid, guys. I do. Now you got more stuff here on the top end to go over. A couple Woodcaller Automatons. Yeah, lots to go over in this one, guys, because we don't get to see a lot of these too often. So this is a 10 mana 8/8, but it has Prototype for only 4 mana. It'll be a 3/3 instead. When it ETBs, if you cast it, untap target land you control, it becomes a tree folk creature with haste and base power and toughness equal to Woodcaller Automaton's power and toughness. It's still a land. So if you do end up casting this, for 10 mana, you can power up a land and have that be an 8/8 too. So 10 mana for 16 total power and toughness. That's not terrible, right? I have a single Nissa in here, gonna pair beautifully with cards like Awaken the Woods, but we're gonna have so many forests on the board anyways, right? That maybe that -7 just ends up doing a thing. But also, like, being able to hit artifacts and enchantments is gonna be good, or just generate tokens. I think Nissa's just a great card overall. Also have a couple Titania's commands in here, another way to potentially just grab more land from the deck if we need to, generate bear tokens, potentially just helping us win the game by slamming a bunch of +1/+1 counters onto some of our lands and stuff too. So yeah, I think it's going to be a solid choice, dude. Single, lonely, honorable mention, Primal Adversary. I feel like it often gets overlooked for decks like this, but I couldn't find room for it this time around, so yeah, honorable mentions for the reason though, just being able to power up more lands and everything. And it's just like a decent creature in general, right? A 3 mana 4/3 with trample is fine. But then yeah, being able to power up more creatures once you have enough mana. Yeah, pretty decent card, man. We played with it in decks like this in the past, so. Okay, guys, is that everything? Hopefully. Let's go ahead, take it into some ranked and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? There's an opponent. Nice. What am I expecting from the build? Oh boy. Oh boy. If we can successfully ramp, this is going to be disgusting, dude. If we struggle to ramp by some miracle, then we're going to have a lot of trouble. Like this hand seems solid, dude. This is all the ramp we need. Oh yeah. This is a great hand, dude. 29 total land, so there's still 26 land here remaining in the deck. We're gonna get the Vinestalk down and get ready for that Azusa's Many Journeys next turn. Oh boy, that does make the Azusa's Many Journeys cost a little bit more, which actually slows us down pretty significantly for the turn, guys. Yeah, that turn 2 Thalia is pretty gross. Get the Restless Spire down then. Not a terrible draw by any means. On that note, do we go Stomper or Azusa's Many Journeys? Probably the Many Journeys, right? Oh no, we're in trouble. Man, this was such a good hand though. Okay, a little bit of life gain from next turn. We'll go ahead and get the ramp rolling. We don't have 2 Stompers ready. Peacekeeper. Oh no. Oh no, guys. This is bad news. This is really bad. Yep, Stomper is out of the equation for now. They are taxing us hardcore. We're down to 5. Fblthp is a great draw, dude, but now we'll only have 1 land. What do we hit with this? I guess Thalia. But then, yeah, we're back up to 8, thankfully, for the many journeys. Twice that much damage to target creature. So we'll do 2 damage to, I guess, maybe Vanguard, actually. Oh, yeah. We have to because the ward. Good thing I looked at that. That could have been bad. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll get rid of the forest then. Vanguard. Now we have a good blocker. We're at 8. They can power up Foundry full swing. We still have a decent block, though. Initiate does get buffed by 1. Brutal Cathar is just... It's not game, actually. Brutal Cathar... No, it would be game, because Initiate would go up to a 3, and then that would be 8 damage. Okay, any removal, I guess. Oh, boy. The tax was rough from the opponent here, but I'm glad we got to play with our, let's see here. Bor, and Fblthp. I was gonna actually try to read it, but you know what? It's too difficult sometimes. Oh, they might pass back to us, guys, if it's just a vendor. They might not swing here. We block Thalia, take 6, and then have a chance to just get enough on this board state. Like off of Awaken the Woods, right? Even though it cost... No, because yeah, they'd have to full swing to actually get some damage through here, and then we'd take care of Thalia. Then Awaken the Woods can restock our board state, and then also Likeness flips next turn. We might be in this, guys. We might actually be in this. As long as they don't get some form of evasion for the next couple turns. Also when Fblthp attacks, too. But... Okay, they do go for the swing. Vigilance on the Peacekeeper's rough, but we got to block. They keep that on top, huh? We have to block the Thalia. For sure. For sure, I would say. Taking 6 down to 2. So if we attack with Fblthp, we'll get a draw, and we'll have a chance to discard a couple land and maybe take out Initiate or Peacekeeper for that matter. Peacekeeper then play a couple Stompers for the turn. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this, dude. Okay. Probably keep Soaring City in hand, right? 1, 2. Hit that Peacekeeper. See what they do with this 6/5. They're gonna take it. Now we could go Awaken the Woods, but this is our 6th mana. 1, 2, 3, right? 7, so Stomper will be able to block. Yep, more forest is a safe bet, I would say. We could also grab a mountain now to make sure we can power up the Restless Spire when it comes time. Guys, if we pull this back, let's see, what could they do? They power up Foundry, it's not enough. We have great blockers on the ground now. GG opponent. Oh my goodness. I lost hope somewhere at the beginning. Like, they taxed way too much in our hand. The Thalia was brutal that early on, right? Slowing us down, not getting that Azusa's many journeys right away. I'm very happy with that one, dude. Holy cow. Fblthp, huh? Or the Borbor, buddy. Like, I usually struggle with names in general, like like any names, not just in Magic the Gathering. But that name in particular, dude, usually I can at least land on something. But the Borbor, buddy, that's a tough one for me. So we got our green source. Turn 2, many journeys. This is a great hand again, isn't it, guys? Well, we don't have double green for Stomper, but I think that should be fine. Oh, we don't have double green for Tortoise either. Oh, crap. We have a lot of green sources. Okay, there we go. There we go. That could have been bad, but we do have a lot of green sources in the deck. We'll go ahead and get that Restless Cottage down. Right into Stomper next turn. A little bit more ramp. Yep, those are all tap lands. I wonder if Stomper just ends up dying here. Go ahead and grab, I guess, a forest, right? That's always the safe bet. At some point, drawing or getting an extra mountain down would be good too, but it should probably be a forest. Yeah, the extra mountain to be able to power up Restless Spire. Oh, we do have the red source on Proving Ground too, though, so there was nothing from the opponent for that turn. We already have 5 mana on this board state, dude. 3. Who endures? The Borbor Buddy and Fblthp, not hitting any creatures here. It's probably, without any blue over there, I feel pretty safe in playing this out tap. Like, if they had blue, we'd play Who Endures to play around like a Make Disappear or something. But I'm feeling, yeah, I'm feeling good. We're gonna go right into that Tortoise, get the tap land down, hit some land. Stomper can swing. That ramp is gross, dude. Go for the throat. Not too bad. Hitting Stomper instead of Turtle? Or Tortoise? 4 mana. A Wandering Emperor if I've ever seen one, right? So we don't want to lose a land to a Wandering Emperor, but if we power up multiple lands, maybe. Awaken the Woods could just be really absurd here too, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just 3. We have 3 open there. Alright, we're just gonna go for the swing here and go for Awaken the Woods for the turn. Because Wandering Emperor is brutal. If they take a land, I mean, Wandering Emperor is brutal either way, let's be real. But if we power up a land and then they just exile it, that's too much right now, I would say. So swing for 6, see what they do here. Grab a land with the Tortoise. I think the Proving Ground might be a better choice right now. Because we already have 2 of the Vinestalks here. Wandering Emperor. So if we go Awaken the Woods, what are the odds that they wipe the board next turn? To target creature. Okay, so Borbor Buddy does not hit Planeswalkers, unfortunately. But this still might be a good one to play. Because we get the card draw and then we can decline. And then we can start swinging with it next turn too. Decline. It is just target creature. We didn't play a land yet this turn too. Wow. There we go. Okay. Yeah, keeping that Who It Endures might be good for whenever like a wedding announcement or something comes down, or something else. In a deck like this, you know, probably a lot of great targets for the Who Endures. Sunfall. Womp womp. You know what? Third from the top. There we go. We activated the ability, guys, and that's actually not that bad. Putting that back on top is pretty good, I'd say. They go for the 2/2 here. Yeah, because they knew we could power up a land and just kill the Wandering Emperor anyways. But I'm going to take the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Did I count right? I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, well, let's hope they don't have board wipe number 2. Because while they were tapped out, it might have been a good turn to go ahead and swing with some of those. Well, no, now that we don't have it, that would have been very expensive since we don't have Tortoise on the board. That's 5 right there. Sorin, that's not a board wipe, dude. All right, something sweet off the top could go a long way.
I bring my own army.
Something that we could like actually cast out. Tortoise. Okay. Right. Can't power up that. Tortoise, Tortoise, Tortoise. Yeah, let's do that. And we're gonna power up like all of our lands this turn. Or do our dandiest to do that. Also, these are lands, so. Another Vinestalk, sure. I suppose powering up. How's this one a tap? How does this. What's happening? So I want you for blue, you for green. No, stop it. Stop that right this instant. There we go. Right? Is it working? Gotta watch out for auto tapper because we want to power up multiple things here. GG opponent, GG. Wow. They must not have had another board wipe in hand, but even if they did, yeah, we could continuously power up the board. Tortoise was such a good draw, dude, buffing all the Dryads. Even so, tapping down these Dryads to make sure we could power up a couple lands was good because we're getting 2 different abilities here. One, we were going to have one of the Dryads have a base power toughness 3/3, which buffs it pretty well. And then 2, we were going to get some food off of the Restless Cottage too. Which I guess we could have tapped down more Dryads and just went for the second Vinestalk, which could have been fine. Vinestalk has Trample, so I suppose maybe that would have been the best bet. We were gonna. What else were we gonna do here? The opponent conceding saved us from a lot of extra thinking because they had 5 total. If we swung Vinestalk at Sorin, they could have double blocked, not killed the Restless Vinestalk though. But saved the Sorin down to a 1 loyalty. This was going to be a 5/5, which I suppose we would have just swung with 1 extra Dryad to the Sorin, made sure that died. The 5/5 to face, and then the other 4 Dryads to face too. Without a board wipe, the opponent was definitely in a very sticky situation. Nice, dude, very nice. Oh, I didn't check to see when we were going to redraw the 4 Borborygmos and Fblthp, so I should have checked. It might have only been 1 turn away, but it might have been 2 turns away too. That's gonna bug me now. When I go back and watch the match in the video, I'll check the top to see if I can see it at all. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Ooh. I don't mind this hand either. I like all the hand. Oh, this one's pretty slow, but like, yeah, I think the hands haven't been bad. Going first here is pretty big too. Stomper, okay. Probably right into Stomper instead of Wrenn. Wrenn on 4 is a little better because you can power up a land and instantly protect, but it's probably Tortoise on 4, so. Grab a blue source. Grab a blue source. Go for the throat, my Stomper. Same concept as before, as I said before. Them taking out Stomper is so much better than them taking out Tortoise. For us, because yeah, keeping Tortoise is huge. 3 mana, none of them blue. We can successfully play a tap land and Tortoise. Let's do this. Second go for the throat would break my heart, but a little bit of ramp goes a long way. The deck hands have been good. The drawing's been decent. Everything seems relatively decent so far. Discard 3 lands to Fblthp and swing in. Swing in with Tortoise. Let's see what we draw. Land. Okay, I guess we can successfully get rid of these, right? Submit 3. 6 damage, dude. Ramp. Grab the Restless Cottage, probably. Who Endures is open. Did I not play a land this turn? Oh, should I? I probably should. Even though it's decent to keep the Who Endures in hand, and just in case there's something you want to pick up. Just getting more land down is pretty big too when we have so many land creatures to power up. 5 mana available. Cruelty of Gix. Huh. Do they just go for the resurrection of the Archfiend, or they're gonna reveal our Wrenn and Realmbreaker here? It is a Planeswalker, so that is discarded, unfortunately. At 17. Oh, wow. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we still power up this for 3? We can. I'm doing it. We get a little card draw here too. Power it up for 3 because Tortoise makes it cost less. So this doesn't untap these, right? Okay, yeah. Instead of reading it, I just wanted to find out on my own then. So we'll go ahead and exile the Archfiend. Get that card draw from the... Ooh, more ramp. That was card draw from the Fblthp, and then we're going to draw because the land hit through. Titania's Command. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's funny. Instead of reading the voice of Zhalfir, I just decided to test it since the opponent was tapped out that turn. Put us down to 3, dude. I'll tell you what. So far, I just smacked a bunch of buttons on my keyboard. Hopefully I didn't break the game. Anyways, this has been terrific, hasn't it? Like, it's actually been really good. Maybe we want 3 of these. GG opponent. GG. Oh, yeah. That was the cruelty. They took 3 damage. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle, you lose 3 life. Without life gain there at instant speed, that was gonna do them in regardless. I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was ready for the next turn, dude, so GG opponent. This feels relatively solid, and maybe we're getting a little lucky. I mean, like, probably, at the very least, a little bit lucky here and there, right? So, 27 minutes in. Wow. We have plenty of time, dude. Where are the longer matches? I feel like we already played 3 games, didn't we? We're going fast, man. We go first. Wow. Wow, dude. Okay, yeah, let's give it a shot, huh? We can't complain too much about seeing this much mana, first of all, early on, right? Since there's 29 in here. Hitting that mark with the Azusa's Many Journeys easily. Turn 3 Tortoise. Okay. This would be the game where we end up flooding out. If we end up flooding out in one of the matches, you know? Restless Cottage. Tortoise. Land. Many Journeys. That's 5 land on the board, 3 land in hand. 1 land in the grave. Luckily this flips next turn. Looks like we're up against some Golgari here. Trespasser. Okay, that could be an issue. That could definitely be an issue. Oh, they don't take the land, though. Alright, we're taking that for sure. Because we're going to swing and ramp with that Tortoise. Many Journeys isn't bad. It really isn't. It really, really isn't. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Cottage. Yeah, power up Cottage for the turn. So we go like this. Go like this. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. It's Cottage. We don't have another black source, though. Oh. Oh, man. Yeah, all the extra forests and everything kinda messed that up. Okay, well, we swing a Tortoise. Yeah, we can't power up a land, unfortunately. There's another black source, and some more blue sources when it comes time to power up. We should actually grab the blue source, because we already have the second black source for the Restless now. See if they block here. I think they might just take the 3. But Tortoise is a big threat, man. it's a big threat. And I feel like, yeah, this is actually a tough decision probably for the opponent. Depends what they have in hand too, of course. If they have second Trespasser, I say that trade is terrific for them. They trade up mana-wise, 3 mana card for our 4 mana card, right? Our card is helping us ramp every single turn if they keep letting this go through. Like, they're thinking, well, we gain some life back with Trespasser too. Or they're AFK, which is a possibility too. In the past, like, month or so, the game has froze a couple times on us, so we got to give the opponents the benefit of the doubt here too. First time out used, I'll go ahead and pause the recording until the opponent shows up. Okay, the opponent didn't show up, and the attack just went on through. Let's see if they're here for their turn. Maybe. Either way, we're 31 minutes in, so we probably have time for one more match after this one. Then we'll talk about the list. It's felt pretty great so far. This was like the only game where the excessive amount of forests really showcased its weakness overall. And this would have been a great match for Wrenn and Realmbreaker to showcase its overall power too, making all these tap for anything, right? Opponent is timing out. Oh no, I do wonder if they froze though, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're over there dropping emotes and everything. There's probably a high chance that this was just a game that they ended up freezing in, maybe, right? Like I said, benefit of the doubt. Next turn, we get another 3 back from the Azusa's Many Journeys. Opponent's here! Opponent has arrived! Hello, opponent. See, like I said, maybe they had to restart their game or something, you know what I mean? Alright. Yeah, we take the 6 here for sure. Regardless of what spot removal they end up keeping open here, they take our red source out of the grave. That's a good hit from the Trespasser. No blocks. Let's see if Trespasser number 2 comes down in main phase 2 here. Okay, passes back. Flips to Knight. Forest off the top is not terrific for us, man. That's not good. Two, 3. Power up the Restless Vinestalk. GG, opponent. GG, buddy. Yeah, and then we also had enough mana open to power up the cottage too, because the tortoise survived. So we just needed 3 mana for the cottage. So that was going to be a 5/5. The Restless Vinestalk was going to be a 6/6, and then we had 3 power from Tortoise and 3 power from Likeness as well. Brutal stuff, man, and we were still at 17, so... Jeez. Feel like the deck's doing really good. Like, every time a deck list does so well, I'm just sitting here thinking like, oh man, we must be getting really lucky, but... In that game, we saw a lot of land, too. Unfortunately, the opponent did miss that turn where they were timed out. But all that ended up happening was our tortoise went through. So that also might have been a turn where maybe they decided not to block the tortoise anyways, you know what I mean? So, all right, we found our last opponent for the evening. What you bringing to the table, buddy? Guys, did we lose yet today? Oh no, now the pressure's on. This might have a 100% win rate so far. Now I'm scared, and we don't have double green and nothing to ramp here, and we go first. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna mulligan. We're gonna try to win this last one. I was gonna say either way, 100% satisfied with how this deck played out. Seems really, really solid so far. I'm going to keep both of the Restless Vinestalks, because we're going to be able to play one of them out tapped with the Azusa's Many Journeys. Hopeful Initiate, okay. Titania's Command. It's not a bad top end at all. Some land off the top would be good for us. 29 land in the build. One of them's at the bottom of the deck from the Scry. Chilling right there. Oh, yeah. Okay, land off the top. Come on. Yes, yes, yes. Dude, Let's go. See, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like we're getting a little lucky. There's so many, like, games where we're just like, oh, this off the top would be great, and then we don't see it, you know what I mean? But got that ramp. Thalia's really bad for us, but chilling at 22, having Tortoise on board successfully, 5 mana. Like, yeah, Thalia slows a lot of the cards down in here, but we might be all right for a little while. Uh-oh, did the opponent miss their third? That's going to be 6 once this lands. If we swing a double block is likely. But well, no, not likely. It's not likely. I think this goes through. Awaken the Woods would be fine, but like just powering this up is probably better, right? Because it has trample too, and we just have a couple turns of doing that. Base power 3/3, I guess Tortoise. It doesn't matter. Grab the land. Beautiful. Down to 11. Opponent needs to see a land. Remove that likeness. They drop the GGs. Really? Guys, did we do it? Did we successfully have a 100% win rate video? I don't know. It's been so long and I'm second guessing myself right now. I don't remember if we lost this. I'll have to go back through and watch each individual game to make sure, right? Because I don't want to like put that like whenever we have a 100% win rate video, that's a great title, right? And then also I don't want to pretend that it's like 100% win rate with 30 matches or anything. So sometimes how I word it matters. So I'll say like 100% win rate this video or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, I don't even know if that's what we ended up doing today. The deck seemed to perform pretty well. Apprentice's Folly, that's my 4th one. Let's go. I feel like the 4th one wouldn't have mattered in any of the recent builds that I played it in, but still. All right. Yeah, having 4 of those means more build-arounds with that card, and that card was sweet. I like it. Here's the deck list again, guys. Yeah, we're ending on a high note for sure, and actually, yeah, we're only 37 minutes in. Oh wow, that's still a hefty time. We'll breach that 40-minute mark while I rant about the deck a little bit. Not rant, ramble. That's what I want to say. Rant has like a negative connotation to it, where I don't have too much negative to say about this. Azusa's Many Journeys hit its mark beautifully. The life gain, really good. Everything about the card, excellent. The fact that it's uncommon, ooh, buddy. I'm in love, I'm in love. Topiary Stomper was excellent. Like I said, getting that 7th mana down is super easy. The Awaken the Woods was sweet, wasn't it? All these counting as lands for this deck in particular, not only working with the Nissa, but literally everything else, and these getting buffed by the Tortoise too. Very, very cool. Didn't get to see the Goose Mother today, but I think it actually would have been pretty good in those matches. Again, we had so much mana on that board. If you go X is 6 or something ridiculous, and you just got this big old chunky flyer that generated a bunch of food for you and can draw you a card every turn. Speaking of drawing a card, this Borborygmos and Fblthp, what a little MVP this was, huh? It was solid, dude. The fact that it's 6/5 too, if you go up against like mono red, some of those mono red lists don't play the cards that I highly recommend that deal 5 damage. As like a 2 of in mono red, they need to have a way to deal 5 damage to these big creatures. And I'm mainly talking about Shieldred, of course, but a lot of them don't run it, or they don't see their 2 ofs, and so being a 6/5 matters, dude. And the fact that we can also just slide it back third from the top, that's pretty cool, even though we didn't really get to redraw it and recast it. Against like mid-range builds, that could really matter, dude, as the game and the engine that you're establishing gets built up and everything, and the opponent's doing the same thing. They're trying to get their engine nice and built up. They try to remove your Borbor, and you just like, I'll take that back in a couple turns, actually. That's a pretty cool ability. I like it. Didn't get to see Vorinclex today. We did get to see the voice of Zhalfir, but it didn't like effectively do anything more in that game. We did draw off of it, but the land it powered up didn't swing through, and then the card that we drew we never actually got to play either. So I still think it's worth the 1 of, but honestly, maybe it's a janky pick for this build. Maybe there's a small possibility that we'd be able to actually make this relatively competitive, right? I don't know. I don't want to say that because, like, yeah, we probably got lucky in a lot of those games. But at the same time, maybe we didn't get lucky and maybe it was just like solid. Well, first of all, Blossoming Tortoise is so gross, dude. This card is good. Trying to think of another term for it, but well, incredible, right? This was really good today. Yeah, I said like Borbor was the MVP, but that's just a lie, a straight up lie. The Blossoming Tortoise was the actual MVP, right? Making all those lands and everything cost one less to activate too was pretty gross. That's something to say about the Restless Spire, as it doesn't actually get cheaper, but when you do end up powering up that Restless Spire, it does have, it's a 2/1 that does have excuse me. Yeah, as long as it's your turn, it has first strike. So if you power this up with the tortoise, it is a 3/2 first strike, which is, and when it swings, you get the scry too. So with like the extra scry and the extra draw off of Borbor and Goose Mother and everything after the attack, that extra scry could go a long way too, especially if you end up, if you are seeing too many lands for that game, then scrying away that extra mana could really go a long way. So that's a case to be said for the Restless Spire, even though it doesn't get any cheaper with the tortoise, right? Anything else, guys? Yeah, the top end was fine. We didn't get to see Woodcaller. I still think the 2 of would be okay, but again, like maybe there's a way to actually make this relatively competitive. And if that is the case, then we might want to drop cards like Woodcaller where we're just trying to do cool things with land, right? And drop cards like Voice, but then you are getting rid of a little bit of the card draw too. But again, easy to pick up. Lightning Strike takes care of it. Go for the Throat, of course. All that nonsense takes care of Voice very fast. But it also takes care of like Tortoise, but at least Tortoise got that ETB beforehand, right? Like, if we drop these, what would we go up? There's 3 cards. Like, what would we go up that would actually make it more competitive? I have no idea. Like, I really don't. Maybe some removal. Yeah, removal probably, but what removal? At that point, you know, like when the mana is already heavily leaning towards green and that's how we want to keep it too. I wouldn't do anything. More testing required, dude. I don't think I'd change anything with this build. Definitely let me know in the comments. What would you add or take out? I could probably sit here and talk for the next 10 minutes about this build, but I won't. I think that the deck showcased itself beautifully in a lot of those matches. Like I said, I'm going to go back through, watch each one, and make sure that we actually did get that 100% win rate, because I can't remember if we lost one. Or if we did lose one, my brain is just completely flushing it down the toilet because of how good those victories actually were. They were like pretty decisive victories too, a lot of those too, weren't they? I think it's the Blossoming Tortoises. I think it's because of the Blossoming Tortoise that we had so many decisive victories. Something else to note, like a 1 of Titania's command probably would have been just as good as the 2 of here too, so. And the 29 land was fine. I wouldn't go up, and we could potentially go down to 28 to add something else. But again, I have no idea what we would be adding at that point. And if you go down to 28, like there are going to be moments where you miss. So 29 felt pretty good. If you end up flooding, it's probably a good thing for this deck, honestly. So okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. I hope you had as much fun today as I had. Wow. This style of deck, this whole, like, just lands slamming through. Oh, man, this was a fun time, huh? Okay. Like I said, guys, y'all are champions, and I will see you in the next video.